Hello.
Welcome to the Muscle Up Yarncast.
Here we are. We're back.
It's April 6th. I don't
2
really
weeks.
know
Only 2 weeks.
how we're in April already.
I know. It's just,
Of 2025. Like, wow.
Yeah.
We are.
First quarter done. Almost tax time.
Yeah. Gosh. So this is Yarncast that we bring to you from our yarn store in Shelburne, Vermont, where you can buy or view online most of the things that we're going to talk about today. Some stuff Jen and I pull out of our personal stash, but you can find the store out on all social media platforms as Must Love Yarn. So feel free to follow, friend, connect with us out there on those platforms. And I'm Angela.
I'm Jen.
And you can find me on social media, Instagram, Ravelry, and Blue Sky as Junior Bird Kid.
So I have a million different little handles because I'm...
You wrote them down.
And that's what I was looking up rudely while she was talking, so I had them in front of me. But
we also link all of them in show notes.
Yeah.
So
Ravelry, it's J Arbuckle. Instagram is Jennifer_Arbuckle. And on, Instagram and Threads. And then Blue Sky is J-Arbuckle at whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, and I'm not very, it's not that I'm unfriendly over there on Blue Sky. I'm just not very busy. I can barely manage the other ones.
Right.
Right now.
And I've also included links in our show notes for Bobolink Yarns, which Jen also owns and manages.
Yes.
So there's fun sheepy pictures over on those.
Raw wool.
Raw wool right now with, sort of normal caveat that the store is complete yarn and craft content. And on my personal pages, you might very well see other stuff. So.
Oh, those stupid lights.
Just be aware that I leave my personal pages public, but it's still my personal page.
You get everything on that one.
Yep. Absolutely. There's our great motion sensor lights.
Honestly, I'm all about energy efficiency, but
also we can't figure out where the sensor is. We
know
where it is.
I think we actually need like two more.
Yeah,
so
it's a big space.
We need more than two.
Yeah. We're in like a little dead zone here where it doesn't.
Well, actually, we're like
us.
6 feet from that.
Well, but it can't, for whatever reason, it does not register our
it only goes
movement
sideways
at the table. So,
yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, so we like to start our Yarncast with our Yarncast pick. And so the way this works is we're going to show you a yarn that's available in store currently. Sometimes it's a new to us yarn. Sometimes it's a yarn where we have a bunch of new colors.
Favorite.
This one is an old favorite. This is Remix Light.
Real estate and yarn.
You can have both. This is Barocco Remix Light. It is a great yarn. We absolutely love it. And as you can see, we have a crap ton of colors. That is an official measurement.
15 to be exact.
Yeah, there might be 16 because I think there was one color where we only have one skein of yarn and I didn't grab it. Yeah. So, but we have a lot of colors. This is classified as like a DK weight yarn.
Yeah, it's 100 grams, 432 yards. So technically it's really fingering weight.
But it will knit at a DK weight. You can knit at a fingering weight. You can also knit at a DK weight.
Yeah, it'll fluff a bit.
It fluffs.
It's funny that it's DK even because it could be sport.
I know.
It should be at least sport.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd probably call it more of a sport, but that's fine. It retails for $13.25, so it's a very affordable yarn.
Especially with that put up. Yeah.
Yep, with that yardage. And we really like this yarn.
So it's 30% nylon, 27% cotton, 24% acrylic, 10% silk, and 9% linen. So it's kind of all the fibers. Mm-hmm. But it makes a really lovely, soft, drapey, slightly heathery, because all the different fibers take the dye a little bit differently. Yeah. So there's just a little heathery loveliness to it. And because the cotton is in it, it'll fluff a little
Right.
bit.
And this is everything in this yarn is recycled. So this is 100% recycled yarn. So we love it for many reasons. One, because it's a great yarn to work with, but also it is, taking some things out of a waste stream and finding a new use for them with this beautiful yarn.
Sorry,
So I know it's allergy central.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you a code right now. I'm going to use YP Remix 25 because I know we haven't.
YP is different than the PP.
It's totally possible that we have done this one since we switched over to YP.
PP. No. Oh, I don't think so. But okay, well, yeah, either way.
YP Remix 25, just to make sure we have a clean coupon code for everybody. And you can get 10% off for, let's do the next 3 weeks just because we don't know when we're going to be back. So let me pull those dates for folks.
So just to be clear too, we do have a chunky version of this, but the code is only going to work on
for
the
light.
Yeah, the Remix light.
1, 2. So we'll do this to May 2nd. And if you're buying online, put that code in. If you're buying in store, you need to tell the person at checkout that you're buying the Yarncast pick.
And give them
the code. It's not going to be applied automatically. So it's, as we titled our Yarncast last time,
you have to be in the know.
Part of the club, in the know, to get that. And one of the reasons why we love Barocco so much is their pattern support. So pattern support just means they have a ton of patterns that they develop with fabulous designers using their yarn. And Barocco, I think, does this better than almost any yarn company. So for the Remix Light, there was probably, 30 patterns?
We looked for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And we found, or maybe not even, and we found,
like 10 patterns that would work for a yarn along that we're going to talk about later.
Stay tuned.
So, we'll link those patterns in show notes when we talk about them. And I'll just provide a direct link to the Barocco website with all of these patterns. These are patterns that were developed for the specific yarn.
Yeah.
And there are crochet patterns, there are knit patterns.
Yeah.
There are
super cute.
All kinds. There's shawls, there's sweaters, there's t-shirts, and they're all very lovely.
Yeah.
So.
And it's, this light yarn has been around for a few years now. So every year they sort of add a few patterns.
Add a few more patterns.
Yeah. Mix.
And of course, my favorite is the Derecho top. That was one of their initial releases when they first brought this yarn in. It's a cute little summer top, and I keep meaning to make it, and I think this is maybe the time, maybe the year for me to do that. So
the colors are good. They have a nice set of colors.
Love it so much.
Yeah.
So Remix Light is
on sale. 10%
on sale
off
next 3 weeks. Next 3 weeks.
Okay.
What you wearing?
Oh, God.
Oh, I know. Oh, my God.
You go first. I forgot to look that up.
This is Garden Gate.
It's been a while.
This is my version of Garden Gate, which is a sweater by Jennifer Steingass.
Peasy, I feel like. No, it's not Peasy. That's a different one. So what is this called? Golly, I don't remember what it's called. So this is a sweater pattern that I turned into a poncho. As you may have seen when I stood up to mess with the lights. I will find it here in just a minute. I should have looked this up before we started, but as you can tell, I'm a little wonky today.
It's all right.
Oh, there it is. Once again.
I'm just going to confirm that this is in fact Garden Gate, and I'm not just making stuff up. Because that also could be a thing, because I did not look mine up.
So this is based on the Once Again sweater by Deborah Gerhard. Deborah, Debra, and Gerhard, Erhard, only because Ravelry is so picky, as you all know. If you do not get that spelling absolutely correct, you will not find it. But it is in my project page, so you'll find it in there.
Nice.
So I made the yoke, and then it was a little bigger than it needed to be for a sweater. And then I thought, you know what, I'm just going to turn this into a poncho because I find that to be, I like this shape. So that's what I did.
I mean, totally doable.
Yeah.
And, something to consider, like, if you try on a sweater and you're like, I don't know that I'd wear this as a sweater, like, would you wear it as a poncho, right? Like,
yeah, it's a really nice little pattern. It's got, like, these little cabled things in between the bubbles of color.
Yeah.
My color work is a little bubbly. My tension was a little tight.
It kind of works.
But I actually like
pattern.
it because it's like little bubbles instead of just flat. And the yarn I used, this was a Malabrigo yarn, and the other, it's the Piedras colorway, which is a colorway that I would not normally choose, and then the other is the Dye Gilpin Leland lamb's wool yarn, which is really soft and lovely. We used to carry it here in the store, but we haven't for a while, but it's really nice yarn.
It is nice yarn.
So, DK weight.
And
it is.
I just confirmed I am wearing Garden Gate. The sort of gold color is Cece's wool, one of her yarn babies. Sorry, we can't call them yarn babies. The yarn formerly known as yarn babies, which is just their enormous skeins. So basically it was one skein of yarn that was had 1,100 yards of fingering weight in it, and the contrast color is Ushida single that I just had in stash that I'd picked up somewhere.
So pretty.
That just works really well. So, and I think, this is a sweater that probably had long sleeves, and I decided I wanted short sleeves, so I made short sleeves. So.
Yeah, mine is short sleeve too, actually.
Yeah. So, there's something about fingering weight sweaters, and you can wear this during the summer.
It's more versatile.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I have long sleeves on under it today because it's like 40 degrees and gross out again. So not quite warm enough for short sleeves, but if it warms up a little bit, I can wear this by itself and still be able to wear cool hand knits over the summer. So
I like to, or at least like elbow length maybe.
Yeah. And when I, get done with my derecho over there that I have not even cast on yet, you can absolutely wear that over the summer. Yeah. Like that's a great one for summer stuff.
I think the fingering weight ones, at least for us with our 3 to 4 seasons or 4 to 5 seasons, really
7 seasons,
right?
Sometimes all in one day.
Right. It's nice to have a sweater that you can't just wear one season, but you can sort of stretch by wearing it over things.
Absolutely. So FOs.
I feel like I left something at home. I don't know what I would have finished that. I had finished my hat last time, right? Yes. Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So why don't I start? Because I have quite the pile.
I only have one. It's a big one, but still.
Of things over here. So let's start with some hats that aren't even on any of the lists. So I've continued. This is my ongoing knit collection to go into the donate bin.
The hands-off people need to come up with a hat pattern that we can knit for the masses.
No, I know. I think these are gonna go in probably for like the holiday bazaar at my kids' school kind of thing. So this is, I was kind of wrapping up the Lion brand mandala ombre skeins that I had in stash. So this is the final 3 hats out of, I had like 1 full skein and like a little bit extra, which is why I have 3 hats. And was just kind of using up all the things. So this is just like a quick beanie kind of hat that doesn't take too long, which is why I have so many of them. But they'll just go down into the bin. So I had been loosely using, let me see if I can find the other pattern. Did I even make a project page for them? I don't think I did. Oh wait, no I did. There they are. It's called the Snow Day Hat by Jerry Birch. So it's just for bulky weight yarn, pretty straightforward, very simple style hat on US 10s.
Fast.
Super fast. So I will make sure that gets into show notes so people can find it if they want. But I've made, I don't know, I probably had 3 or 4 skeins of this laying around, and I've just made a series of hats out of all of it over the last couple of months. So I'm pretty done with that project. Also out of yarn, that style of yarn.
Yeah.
And my local source for getting that yarn, which was Joann's, is no more, RIP. So I guess that's that for right now. But
I'm pretty sure you have other yarn at home.
Oh yeah, there's no. I was looking through some yarn this morning, and I was like, oh my god, for the love of God, why do I even talk about buying more yarn ever?
I know.
I could probably knit out of my stash for the next 10 years.
Well, that whole math problem about stash equivalency.
Yeah.
And people years or whatever. I don't know.
No.
I'm mangling that description, but you all know what I mean.
Totally. Exactly. So I think when we were here 2 weeks ago, I picked up some yarn for a project for my small person back there. So she picked up the pattern. We looked through. This is a new thing that we have been doing, is looking through. She tells me what she wants. I sort of set the search parameters in Ravelry, and then she and I sit and look through
that's cute.
options. So this is what she chose. This is called the Super Find Your Way beanie. So that's what the pattern's called. It's a very zigzag with purple. So the purple is LRA Cashmerino Chunky. And the multicolored is from the Lemonade Shop. It's the Lisa Frank Fan Club. It'll probably get a really wild pom-pom. I have a whole bin of pom-poms.
Like troll hair pom-pom.
Maybe. And she'll just pick. It could be purple, it could be white, it could be multicolored. I don't know.
Yeah.
We have lots of options at home. I bought some bulk packs of pom-poms just to have them on hand. So we'll just go pilfer through the bin and see what it is. So anyway, so this is her hat. Great little zigzaggy fun pattern. When I got done with her hat, I had plenty of yarn left. And there was another pattern that I had been eyeballing and wanted to make by Naomi Zimmer. So I used the rest of the yarn to make this hat, which might actually also, I was like, I bet Jen is intrigued by that. So this is called the Genie Beanie. And again, just another fun colorwork hat with these little spirals.
Yeah, interesting.
It is interesting. And definitely the yarn that the designer used had like really high contrast. This kind of with the
it's funny on the screen it has more, I guess,
than it looks in person. I think it's more one of these you kind of have to be away from it. But yeah, on the screen it looks
very
same with pictures.
Definite. But when
in
it's
person,
here,
you're like,
it's a little different.
Also have not blocked this, but
when you back away, like if I squint at it and back away,
so super fun, different. Again, color work, style. Been really into the stranded knitting. Hence a couple more projects where there's literally like 4 skeins of yarn going at once, and I get real mad. And I'm like, why am I doing this? And then I just pick another one that has like 4 skeins of yarn. Why? What's up?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so that's 5 hats in the last 2 weeks. They're all bulky hats, so those go really fast, but still that's 5 hats. Okay, so I'll stop. I have one more finished object, but do you want to do yours and then I'll do my last one?
Well, after several months of thinking about it, I put my, it's not been washed yet actually still, but I assembled my temperature blanket.
Yay!
So it's, there's pictures of it on my page.
Woot woot.
So it's assembled in all of its glory. It's,
There we go.
And I think
That is awesome.
January is down here in the bottom corner, and then it sort of winds its way over to December that Anne's just holding up. So, yeah, it's pretty good. The join was all crochet, single crochet mostly. I had some issues because the squares are mitered, you're always joining like a knit edge to like a cast on edge. So although they're all the same number of stitches, they're slightly different gauge. So there's a little bit of finagling to get them to line up. And then when I joined them all together, in the interest of full disclosure for everyone here, there's a little wonkiness on the one edge where I might do another round of single crochet around the edge. That's the back side. But because there's just the one sort of made them align a little bit better.
Yeah.
But when you hold it out, you can sort of see there's some bumpiness where the joins are. But honestly, I might not, because you know what?
It is a blanket,
right.
And it's going to be snuggle. People snuggle with it or thrown out on a couch or something.
Yeah. So
it looks great.
The one thing I did learn was that rather than holding the squares like flat next to each other to join them with the single crochet, if you hold them like this instead, and then you can see the stitches that you're joining a little bit better. And if you need to, if one end is getting longer than the other one, you can sort of manipulate that. I also used clips to hold the two ends and then the middle together, so I had shorter sections. Yeah. Because otherwise I was finding one square is like an inch longer by the time I get to the end. Very frustrating and irritating. Yep. A little bit of swearing. Yep. A little bit of like throwing it to the other side of the room and not wanting to finish it.
I could see that.
Yeah. So anyway, it is done, which is
yay,
an exciting thing to have done, and it's quite heavy.
I bet.
Actually.
It's a lot of yarn.
Yeah, heavier than I would have thought. Yeah, and in the end, actually, I probably have the totals because my project page is actually like completely up to date. So I went and I weighed all the yarn to make sure that was in there correctly. And I think, where is it? Every time I go through here, the whips are at the top. You're like, oh, look how many. Where is mine?
I know I've been trying very hard to clear mine out.
Yeah. So the total amount of yarn, 2,985 yards.
It's a lot of yarn.
10.19 skeins. I definitely have quite a bit of yarn left where I was like a tenth into a skein or just barely in. So it is what it is. But if it's helpful at all, it's all organized by color, and there's some notes in the bottom here for people, because it was helpful for me to know how much yarn to guess for the borders and for some other things. So anyway, I'm not making a blanket this year. Although immediately, of course, I was like, oh, wouldn't it be fun to do one of those sample ones where there's different blocks of whatever. We might end up doing something like that for the yarn haul. So
that's fun.
I say no, but you never know.
It would be fun. Like
every store
has a different block that they've designed, and that would be kind of cool.
Yeah, I think
would be fun.
Probably going to happen. So whether I knit them all or not is a different thing entirely. But
shouldn't each of the stores do a sample?
I can do the whole thing.
No, a sample of their store's block.
But knitting one block is different than knitting 12.
And what if everybody sends their squares in when the yarn haul's done, and they get hitched together and then donated to like hospice or the shelter or something? That might be kind of cool. So it's like part service project, part anyway, sorry. This is actually what happens on the Yarncast all the time.
That's helpful.
Lots
Good
of
idea.
And then people can feel like we're doing this for a purpose. As well. Yeah. And then they're not like, what do I do with this one block when the yarn haul's done?
Each store, you mean?
Each store, right? Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool.
That's my one finished object.
I have continued with my attempt to try to get things off the needles that have been languishing. I don't have a huge number. I have a lot of, like, if I'm looking down this list of ones that, like, that needs some buttons, and that's why I haven't.
I have some that are like that needs to be frog because you're not going to make that.
I just moved those to the frogged category, and then the yarn goes who knows where. So this is the lozenge cowl. It's been languishing.
Because you started, it was for a class, right?
It was for a class, yeah. I think I started in February of last year.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to have it available for the...
You couldn't have it finished because you had to...
Well, right, because I wanted to use it to show people how to do the technique. This is... oh my God, my mind just went totally blank. Mosaic knitting. It's a free pattern, so I tend to use it. I haven't clearly woven in the ends. I did block it, though. I tend to use this pattern because it's a free pattern on Ravelry.
Yeah, and it's dramatic.
A great little cowl. And it provides a lot of practice for mosaic knitting for folks. So it's DK weight, and you have one solid color. And then I just tend to use like Schopel for the counter color. You could use Spin Cycle. You could use Making Tracks. You could use like all kinds of different yarns. But
or 2 solids even that are high contrast.
You could do 2 solids that are high contrast. And so this has just been kind of taking up space in my project bags. And I really only had like 2. I really didn't even have to do these extra ones. But I wanted to add a little extra height to the cowl.
I like those tall cowls, actually.
I do too. This is just, it's really fun. It's pretty simple. I clearly made a mistake right here with something because there's an extra row of garter stitch that doesn't need to be there, but realistically, I don't actually care.
I didn't even notice, honestly.
Right?
Yeah,
kind of like it's
your pattern
flipped.
got lined up. Yeah.
I did the same row twice.
Yeah, this is aligned instead of off.
Yep,
yeah.
Instead of offset. But
interesting.
Yeah. This will also probably just go in the donate bin for whether it's a silent auction or gift or whatever. Once I weave the ends in. That's the other thing I like to do is sometimes finish these and throw them in, and then I pull them out and I'm like, I can't donate.
I've gotten pretty good. The blanket was annoying. There were a lot of ends to weave in on the blanket, but I've gotten pretty good about my other projects about weaving them in right away because I actually usually weave my ends in before I block, so everybody's different about that. I usually weave them in but leave them hanging, and then I just clip them once I'm done.
For most projects, yes, this needed a really hard block, so I did not weave in the ends because I knew they were going to pop all over the place, so I was going to weave them in after the fact, which I've not done.
Everybody has a different theory, though. There's a lot of people who don't weave their ends in before they block. For me, I just feel like it sort of sets them, like in my, I don't know if this makes sense. This is my own internal
like it helps integrate them into the...
It feels like they're going to, if they're going to settle in, then... And again, I leave them, I don't clip them until I'm done blocking, but everybody has. But a lot of people don't. A lot of people, I would rather block.
I usually weave in before I block.
Because then it's done. They don't always get clipped on the inside.
It's true.
But they're still woven in. They're not going anywhere. So
that's true.
But then it's done.
Yep.
You have to then weave the ends in after you block it. That's really. That's how I feel about that. Obviously, very self-serving approach. But it's stuff that I'm making, so I get to be self-serving.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So anyway, so that's done.
Okay.
I'm not really entirely sure it actually freed up a project bag or anything.
I put away a lot of needles yesterday.
I also have that.
There was a huge pile of them in a bag, and I was like, "New Kitty might be interested in these. Put these away. It's not that hard. Also, you'll have them when you go looking for them."
I put all of my chagus like in one place now because they'd been kind of spread out all over the place, and I was like, "Oh, look, I have like 3 pairs of US 732s because I apparently couldn't find them and bought another pair, and now when I put them all in the same place, there they all are. Great. Excellent. Good job, me." So, all right, I have a bunch of new whips going on over here.
I was very monogamous, so I only brought one with me because that's the one I spent a lot of time on and made a lot of progress on. So
okay, cool.
You should probably do a couple, and then I'll do my one.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm not very productive today.
That's all right.
Again, 5 bags of wool in the car.
So let's start with the one that's almost a half object.
Talking about colors. That's
talking about colors. Right. Yeah, no.
I just was looking at the ends hanging out.
Yeah, and I see this. I have not dealt with the ends, mostly because the thumb is not done yet. And I thought that it would be great to get the thumb, so I had a true half optic. I won't generally weave in ends on something like this till I've done all of the knitting. Yeah. So this is a really adorable, cute little mitts. This is called Be Beautiful Mitts by Stone Knits, because they are little bees. You can see it better in person. The little bee wings is actually mohair held double. And I was trying to use what I had on hand, so it's a very light gray, which kind of blends in, but you can see it up close a little better. But if I had like a white, it would really pop with this yarn. Yeah. So this is a fun little pretty quick knit. I mean, I did make these in like just a couple of nights. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, this is a lot of aggravation and fiddly, because you are working with 3 different colors
because of the wings
on many rows. I was
trying to figure out why.
One of which is a double mohair, which is also gets super tangly, but you have 4 colors hanging off
in a tiny little
space. I mean, you can see what it's doing here, and this is what your working yarn does. So there was.
It's a good thing it's only for 7 or 8 rows.
It's a very short period of rows. But they're fun and they're cute, and I'm going to add the little thumb, and then I will knit the second pair. I will do it. It's a fun pattern. I probably will do another version of another pair of these. It's great. It's great fun, and it's a great use for scraps. Yeah. There's so little yarn that is used with this. This is a Hue Loco yarn that I had from some projects like 5 years ago that just has been hanging out in stash. Yeah. The black and the yellow, I might be knit picks. I don't even know what it is. Like, it's just something that I was pawing through my bin of.
You probably need
You need like such a small amount. You could probably use teeny weeny wool for this. The little teeny weenies.
Yeah, less than 10 grams.
Because you don't use hardly anything. And then the same with the mohair. Like, I have like 7 shades of gray mohair. I have no idea why. This was the lightest one. But also, would be delightful with, like a cream or something. So super fun, like great for in between seasons. I will tell you, when I was knitting this cuff, I was like, who is this going to fit? I mean, it stretches.
They look small on the table here. Your hands are small, though.
I do have small hands. Yeah. I am also a very tight knitter. Yeah. I knit with the needle size that it says. They do fit me. If you have bigger hands.
And there's something, it's nice to have mitts that have a little negative ease to them, or zero ease, because
you want them tight.
Yeah, I have some that I knit that are a tiny bit looser than I would like, and they kind of...
They flop around.
Yeah, they don't really. Around. I mean, they're there, but I don't know.
I prefer my mitts tight.
For these kinds of mitts, for sure. Like regular mittens are fine if they're a little loose, I think. But the...
fingerless mitts.
Yeah, because otherwise they get in your way up here, I find.
Yes. So, I think if you are they fit my hands.
What size needle do you remember?
It's like a 1 and a half. Yeah. And then like maybe a 2 for the color work up here. Like, so this was like maybe a 1.5. This was a 2, or this was a 1 and this was a 1.5. They actually.
It's fine. Yeah.
They're small needles. It's like for knitting socks, and it definitely is at a gauge and a fabric similar to socks. Yeah. But yeah, super cute. I've been eyeballing this pattern for a while since I saw it release. So very cute. Yes, half-o, almost half-o. It doesn't have a thumb.
It's a whip.
It's a whip. We're getting there. It's something fun to show. I also cast on. All right, let's go with the one that doesn't require the whole backstory.
We'll do that, and then I'll do mine,
And
and
then
then
you
you
do
can
ours,
do the
and then I can
backstory.
come back to my backstory. So this is Woolens and Nosh yarn. I knit a pair of socks recently out of this, and I had enough yarn left over that I was like, I can't just put this aside. I need to knit this out of
so
something
pretty.
else. It's so pretty.
This is Cartafile, is that the
Cartafile.
the map one?
Yep. So I am doing kind of a modified sock head beanie. So I took the mini skein that I had for this and knit the brim
Until it was gone.
until it was almost gone.
Yeah.
I got tired of the ribbing. So I knit almost using all of it. My original goal was to knit all of it, and then I was like, so I have enough if I run out and need to make the top part use it for closing the top part.
Little polka dot on top.
Little polka dot on top. So here's Cartafile.
So nice.
Jen and I had a little discussion about this last time because these are micro stripes on the socks. Like what this was going to do.
I think it's going to be nice. It'll be like...
It is doing that. So I can't knit an entire row. Here you can see with the...
Yeah.
There's not enough of each color, but they're kind of overlapping each other. So it's not doing anything. It's not
creating like a weird column or something.
It's not.
Even if they stacked, it would still be cool, actually.
Yeah, but
I like
they're
the fact
all
that they're
starting.
wiggling.
I mean, you can see that one starts there, that one ends there. They're kind of just overlapping each other in like a really cool fashion. It's gonna be kind of a neat like striped hat. So super fun. I'm trying to get this finished. So I have, this much, right? Like plenty of yarn. This is going to be a slouchy hat for sure. Trying to get this off the needles before the first baseball game starts because I will then cast on baseball socks.
With those needles?
No.
No,
but I just want to...
Oh, you want to be done with it.
I want to be done with this one. No, these are 2.5. No,
these brain is wandering over here.
No, it's fine.
Itself
these
today.
are 2.5. I usually knit socks on like 1.5.
Yeah.
So I do have 1.5s open because I haven't cast on another pair of socks. But I also don't want to kind of get distracted. Like anyway, I want to finish this, but
they're
if it
both
gets,
easy projects. You could bring either of them.
I could have
baseball.
both. Absolutely.
Your baseball people might like to see something different than a sock.
They might, and I think.
Anyway, no pressure is what I'm trying to say. There's
I think
no
this
pressure.
is the yarn that I'm going to use for the first baseball socks. This is the March colorway. It's called the Muses, and this is like my jam colors right there.
Yeah.
Though I just got notification that April was being so I can't wait to see if April arrives before I am ready to cast on that pair of socks. Who knows? But for right now, this is the one.
Yeah.
That's the next pair of socks. So anyway, all right.
So I made a lot of progress on my Argyle vest.
Yay!
I sort of buckled down, and it was between that and sea glass, and it was actually easier to focus on this. So I finished the back, except for the joining together and contrast. Doing the edging, but the back is knit except for the white stripes.
Yeah. You're gonna duplicate stitch those on later. Okay.
Yeah, that's what the pattern calls for, and I would do that regardless.
Okay.
So interesting little tidbit is I got somewhere over here as I was joining this pink, and realized that somehow I had I was up here somewhere when I realized that this bottom triangle was off a stitch.
Oh no.
Bottom diamond. So I went stitch by stitch and dropped it down and sort of finagled it. It looks like there's a hole there, but it's actually just the yarn needs to be
tightened.
pulled up.
Yeah.
But anyway, so because at first I was like, well, I'll just leave it. You can't even tell.
And
then I was like, but the whole stitch count is off,
yeah.
and I needed to fix it. So anyway, that was an annoying evening, but I did fix it. And it's very tight in there, but it'll be fine. So you can't tell.
Oh,
and it's on the back.
That'll block out.
It will block out, and it's on the back. So
you won't have to look at it.
That's correct. And there'll be duplicate stitch over one side of it, like right up through the middle of the thing. So it's fine. I had a whole moment of like,
Are you kidding me?
well, that, and then how could this happen? And then, should I just leave it? Should I take the whole thing? I was like, I'm not taking the whole thing out. I'm going to do this. And if this doesn't work, then I don't know what I'm going to do. But anyway, it was close enough. So anyway, so the back is done. And actually now that I got away from the ribbing, I was like, oh, it's going to be fine.
It'll be fine.
It's wide enough. And then I was pretty motivated.
You just are trekking along.
Yeah.
Look at that.
So I put this on the needles. So I am partway up the blue diamonds on the front.
Yay!
So that's exciting. And it's pretty fast. It's an Aran weight on size 8 needles. So it's trucking along. And I really am happy with the colors.
That's fun.
I think it's going to be nice
like
with
it.
the white stripes.
Yeah.
And the yarn is really nice. It's this Queensland
Kathmandu,
Aran 100.
which I'm just looking at all the
colors
of that
great
we
colors
have.
over there. Back when I was looking for Aran weight to make the bouldering sweater, which I just saw on my project list of whips, I almost used this purple color for that, and then I bought something else, but it's a little pinker. But anyway, so that is that, and I'm very focused on getting this finished because
It's
it's
also
pretty
seasonally
fast. I mean, in
appropriate.
2 weeks, I went from being like at this point on the back to, so I'll be done with it. Maybe by the next time.
That would be awesome.
I think so, probably. Except for that I have a distraction, so that I might be working. So I will say this, I did post pictures of this online because I just thought it was an interesting thing. So, Intarsia is not for everybody.
I dislike it immensely.
Yeah. You have to get in the mindset of it, but I will say if you are going to do it, and people are like, well, bobbins, I don't know how, and it does look messy now because it's all tangled up.
Bobbins are the way to go.
It's just so much better.
Yeah.
I can't even, I just flip them over as I finish each chunk, and so they're on the wrong side. They're not bothering me. And this is not everything because pretty soon there'll be 4 more for the pink. So at one point, you've got the main color is on one end, 2 gray ones for the middle and the end, the blue ones, and then the pink ones. But, as I said, I just go through each row, and as I do the color, I flip it over to the other side, so it's not in my way.
Yeah.
And that keeps it from being tangled. And then if you're instead of turning this way, if you turn, the other way when you're...
Right. It's almost like knitting like socks 2 at a time. Like there's a cadence to it for where your yarn goes as you're working
and also,
through the projects.
it's so much nicer than stranding. Like, it's just so much easier. Like, you could strand the beginning of these, but then you're carrying yarn all the way across. It's just not... Anyway, for something like this, it's necessary.
It's just
Yeah.
squirrel's nest.
Yeah, and such a small circumference. This is knit flat, so that makes it easier. And this is wool, so I've just been spit splicing all the ends. So even I just finish a bobbin and make a new one and spit splice it on, and off we go. So there's not a million ends to weave in, and it'll be, you can see on the back there's a few ends to weave in. I left the one bobbin here so I can do the 3 needle bind off, but really everything else, I mean, this is all bobbins in here. So the fact that there's really just a few left is not bad. So anyway, little tips and tricks section there, but it's been good.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm excited.
All right.
It'd be really great this time of year also.
Because you guys know, I always have to have a story. All right, so I have been eyeballing this hat for quite some time. So this is the Washington hat.
Like the Alaska one, but
It's
Washington.
right. It's a 50 states beanie. So it's by Nancy Bates Design. So I think she's doing hats for each state.
I missed that along the way there.
My guess, I think. But anyway, this is her Washington State one. So this is the hat. This is the inspiration picture. And if you've ever been out west, and I think many of you know I grew up out there, this is very much like what the mountains look like. A lot.
Foggy, yeah.
Foggy, this, sort of, anyway,
Misty.
lots of layers of color. And so she's designed this hat pattern, which I just think is lovely.
How many colors are in it?
4.
Oh, yeah.
And beautiful. And just the way the color work is designed, it creates that sort of depth.
Yeah.
So this one came back on my radar when I was looking for what I could knit out of the Malabrigo in the Va colorway. This is, if you remember from a few episodes ago, the panic purchase some
right.
yarn because I thought I was going to run out. So I have a whole extra skein of Va. And if you don't know with Ravelry, you can actually search for specific colors and see what people have made out of it. So the dark color on this beanie is used out of Va. And so I thought, oh great, look, I have all these other greens, I can put this together. There's 4 different colors there. And so the story is, when push came to shove, I ended up just ordering the specific colors for this hat because I'm in love with this hat so much. I tried to piece together colors out of stash or colors that we had here in the store, and it wasn't,
because you could do it with minis, right? I mean,
I could do it with
maybe
minis.
not the main color, but
yeah, I think you don't use a huge amount of these other ones.
Yeah.
I just was having a really hard time finding the right shades,
Oh,
and I
that's
think
fine.
that there's something about those shades that just is part of what I love about the hat so much.
Yeah.
So
now full skeins of each.
so I have full skeins of each. So, but I could, you know,
No, there's 12 more hats in your future. That's all.
I can knit multiple hats of this.
You can. Yes, you can.
I could knit some colorwork mitts. So it's all worsted weight yarn.
It'll get used. It's completely fine.
So this color is from Polka Dot Sheep. This is her whitefish worsted in the Moose Meadow colorway. And I started this hat because I wanted to get going on it. And so you can just see like how amazing that is.
Yep.
As I was knitting that, I decided I needed to order the next colorway, the Ali B Workshop in Merino worsted. I had picked up this one here at the store. This is a Malabrigo. But those are just too close in color, I think.
Oh, to be the next one.
To be the next color.
I thought you meant to use for this one.
I had picked up this one to be the next color. And they're just
too close.
They're too close.
Yeah.
Too close. So I ordered,
because the next one is sort of the tan color.
This tan color.
Yeah.
Yep. So I ordered that. And then the white was just like an ivory from Malabrigo. So when I was ordering this tan one, I just got like a ivory from her too. So anyway. So I'm waiting for that yarn to come before I can knit more on the hat because I'm at the point where I need that 3rd color.
Yeah.
But this is another one where there's like 3, I think a maximum of 3 colors, maybe 4. Oh no, there's a couple rows where you're using all 4 colors.
Maybe you could slip, or you could.
It does have some duplicate stitch that you could do.
Or you could put some of this on bobbins just so you're not pulling from the big skeins because the bobbins make it easier.
I would rather tangle with 4 skeins of yarn than do duplicate stitch.
Really?
Yeah.
When I took that embroidery class a few years ago on knitting, I was like, oh, duplicate stitch, this is so easy. Why would I not do this? So, I mean, I may change my mind, but
I have enough yarn. I can knit one doing the way I want, which is with no duplicate stitch.
No, you should do
then
it your
I can
way.
knit a second one with plans to do duplicate stitch and just see if that changes.
And also, some of those are close enough together.
I know, that's why I was looking at them.
It's just not having to, she wanted to do a pattern where you're only carrying 2 at a time.
Right, yeah, I think so. But I don't really have a problem carrying yarn. And actually, all of this stuff is less, will get less tangly than like mohair. It'll still get tangly.
If you did some of the duplicate stitch, we're looking at the chart, which we're not going to share, obviously, but those trees would be a little.
They would pop out. Up in here. Yeah, I know.
You do you.
I know. I'm right here for right now. Like I just started that row.
Yeah.
So, well, I still could decide to do duplicate stitch up here.
Well, you should do what makes you happy.
I know. So far, duplicate stitch is not the thing that makes me happy. But anyway, so that's my...
I may feel differently. It's funny because on this sweater vest, they say to do the duplicates, like hitch it together and then do the duplicate stitch. And I was like, there's no way I'm doing that. I'm going to do it on each side. Then I'm going to hitch it together because Why would you want to be like inside the middle of the vest trying to like, do you know what I mean?
No, I know. I know, it's crazy. I totally could have used this for the second. Anyway, I bought it.
It'll be better to have the
as this color.
Yes.
I could have used it in replacement of this because these two are close enough together.
Almost identical, actually.
They do. They're not. This has a little more yellow. This is lighter.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So now I have this to do something with.
Yarn makes yarn.
My yarn has babies, apparently. And then when I don't like it, I just order more yarn. Is that what all of you do? Oh, no. Very rarely am I at the point where I want that specific yarn, and I'm feeling it for this hat for some reason.
All good.
So there I am.
It and its 5 friends to follow. It's completely fine. You'll find something to do with it.
I totally will.
Is it DK weight?
It's worsted.
Oh, worsted.
I have a lot of colorwork worsted hats in my future.
Oh, yeah.
Which is fine.
A lot of green.
Green and white, and I could see myself making a couple more of those because they're cool. Till I get done with the first one, and I'm like, I am never doing that again.
And you could make a sweater out of your remains.
I could. Absolutely could. I would have enough for a colorwork sweater. Yep. Totally.
And it would be sort of matchy with your hat, but not completely.
Yeah. No. So good. Yep.
We shall see.
Yep. I have one more whips.
Okay, it's all you.
Okay.
I have one upcoming maybe project that I'm on the fence about.
Sleeping Beauty sweater.
Yep.
I cast it on.
Oh, I thought you had started that last time. You were just thinking about it.
I showed the yarn.
Okay.
So we have started.
Mm-hmm.
It's top down.
Yeah.
We're this far in.
Yeah.
I think I have a couple more rows to go before starting the color work.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not.
You are color work all the time, aren't you?
I know.
You're going to want some non-color work to follow.
No, I know. That's why derecho is very intriguing to me right now. I have not started winding mini skeins for the color work yet.
They're quick.
They are quick.
Because they're mini skeins.
Yes. So as soon as I get to the point where I need one, I will wind one. There's 8 or 9 different colors. Mm-hmm. And so I'm trying to figure out how to keep track of which one's which, because some of them I need to use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as I go down. Because this has actually the yarn making the color changes. I'm going to have to do that with my mini skeins.
Oh, yeah. So I would, are they in sequence or are they?
They are in sequence right now.
No, but I meant, right, but are they, can you do it visually? Do they look?
Some of them I think are too close.
Oh, yeah. So
I have to figure out a way to tag them in Ziploc bags.
The only reason I say that is because if you wrapped, a yarn with a label on it, you're not going to be able to knit from it. But if you put them in a Ziploc, you can knit from the bag.
That's true. So yeah, the individual skeins are not labeled, so it came as a mini skein pack, and they're sort of in the order that I want to use them.
Little snack bags.
And that's what I'm going to end up doing.
With a label on it.
Yep.
And that way you can knit right from the bag.
Yeah.
You don't have to even take it out. It will also help them not be tangled.
Yeah, that's kind of what I figured. But this is 2 color at a time.
Yeah.
So, the pattern, the chart, I will do a full pattern repeat and then start the next color for the pattern repeat. So I will only be doing 2 colors at a time. Mm-hmm. It's more of just keeping track of which one needs to happen next.
Yeah.
So anyway, so that one's started. So apparently I'm doing all the color work things right now. That's it. I don't know why. It's fun. It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Spring.
It's spring. And also I can use that for our botanical along because it uses flowers.
Yeah. So I have one project that I started to think about this weekend, which I'm on the fence about it a little bit, but
okay.
So my niece, so the story of my cat is that he's my sister's kitty, or was my sister's kitty. She adopted him as a baby, little kitten, last summer. my brother-in-law has cat allergies, but he was not allergic to their last cat.
Mm.
And so they went and sat with the cats, but he was at the shelter with a million cats, and so he did react a little bit. But anyway, long story short, he's very allergic to this cat. As the kitty's gotten older, he's gotten more allergic to him. So we were waiting for my house project to get done. It's done enough. Things are roughly moved back into their locations. So the kitty came to live with me last weekend. My niece loves the kitty. And she and my sister both, it was a little, like they were excited to, whatever, but they were not excited to lose the kitty from their home, needless to say. So he seems to be settling in. My niece came over on Friday. So I went to White Plains and back, and I got done early on Friday. I came back and worked for a little bit, and then she came over after school so she could see the kitty and hang out with him, which had an added bonus of my getting to hang out with her.
Yeah, there you go.
And so then she was also holding my emotional support chicken for a little while. She was just picking things up and putting them down. So her birthday, so I'm thinking this may not be a birthday present. I might have to do something different for that. But anyway, I started thinking I could make her an emotional support kitty. And so I started looking, and there's a lot of patterns. Why is this not opening up the way I want it to?
Because Ravelry is weird.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
I want the pictures. I don't have enough. All right, well, there's this, sorry, the picture thing is annoying.
Yeah, it's being weird.
It is being weird. All right. So there's this pattern called cat. It looks a little funny, but the pictures of it are very cute, and it has a really cute face.
It's like a really weird angle.
It is a weird angle.
Is it upside? Oh, it's upside down. Those are its ears.
Yeah.
The white pieces are its ears. Oh, there you go.
Yeah. I looked at a bunch. There's a lot of, not fake kitties, but they don't look like real cats, which is fine and could also be fine. And I thought about it. But this kitty had a really cute face, and I thought, maybe I'll make her a little kitty. So I have a bag of, not a brown one, I would make a gray one. So I have a bag, and she uses 3 different colors of mohair. It's like a very fiddly project, but it's also like a small thing. I mean, it's like this big. So, and he has a realistic kitty shape. He's not like, I'm a flat cat or I'm a, whatever, posed kitty, or I'm wearing clothes. All of which are fine. They just weren't what I was looking for. And I just was rolling through. The tricky thing is, I don't know if, because I'm going to be gone this week, I don't know if I can finish this. Even though there's a lot of knitting, it's not the thing I want to be knitting.
While you're traveling.
Well, in that conference, it's at the board meeting. Not because I don't want to be knitting it, but it's too fussy.
Yeah.
The pattern is 25 pages long because it's like fiddly little bits. And there's not mindless knitting. So I don't know if I can finish it before I come back next Sunday. So it might be something that I do as a longer term project.
I have a whole stock of safety eyes.
Oh, do you?
Of different colors, of different sizes.
I was going to look today. Do you have yellow ones?
Probably.
His eyes are yellow.
Probably. I, again, bulk ordered for some projects because it's just cheaper in the long run.
14 millimeters, they're big.
You need 14 millimeters. Let me just make a note. Okay. I'll see what I have and I'll let
14
you know.
or 15, I think it said.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yellow. He doesn't have green eyes. He has amber eyes.
Okay. I'll see what I have because I have a bunch of in different sizes.
Yeah, I was going to order some. So anyway, I might be working on this. I think I have plenty of yarn. I'm not worried about that. And I have, different mohair colors. He has a buff tummy and, whatever.
Nice. So cute.
Yeah. So it might be a fun little, and I don't mind making fiddly stuffy things if they're, the head is really, that's where you start, and the head is really the worst, and then the rest of it is just short rows. So.
Nice.
Yeah, fun. So we'll see.
I also have a giant bag of stuffing, so if you...
I have that. I've got plenty of stuffing, sorry.
I will
I'm not taking any because I want to use up what I have.
No, I know. I'll take a look at what I've got for safety eyes, and I'll let you know.
And it's funny, too, because she talks in the pattern about... so this pattern is called Cat by Claire Garland. She has... And then there was another kitty that she has a bunch of patterns, or maybe it's a different woman that I was looking at that had a bunch of patterns that I almost picked instead. She has some gray stripe. He's a gray tiger. So,
nice. Cute.
Yeah.
Very cute.
So she doesn't overstuff him so that he's floppy like a kitty is.
Awesome.
Which seemed like a nice.
That's amazing.
And she's going away to college in a year or two.
Yeah,
so,
she'll take it with him.
Yeah.
Take her with her.
Yeah. Seemed like they probably will get another kitty maybe, but although my sister has threatened my brother-in-law with, she's like, Jen is not going to just keep taking cat after cat after cat.
So, Jen's like, speak for yourself.
I was like, no, you're correct. So he's got it in his brain that a Russian blue kitty, which is what my first kitty was a stray that I took from a friend, but was gifted from a friend. Let me rephrase. That sounds nasty, but my first kitty, Lucy. So my sister's like, yeah, well, we're going to the breeder. He's going to sit in a room full of Russian blue cats for an hour to see if he reacts. Because if he does, we're not adopting it. It's hard to go to the shelter and adopt because
there's just all kinds.
It's all cat hair everywhere. Like you can't prevent that. So
yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
I mean, I feel his pain as somebody who actually is allergic to cats as well.
Oh.
I've adapted to my own to. Okay, like I can't. If I pet them, I have to go wash my hands.
Yeah.
And occasionally I have.
They tried all kinds of things.
Challenges with.
They gave like stuff on his food to make him less. They got the vacuum thing where the vacuum is running constantly in the house. He was restricted out of certain rooms, but he's I mean, he's a shedder.
Yeah.
You can't. Yeah. Eventually, it gets everywhere. Yeah. Yeah. And my brother-in-law likes him, which makes it harder because
so much harder.
Yeah, he wants to pet him.
Yeah.
And hold him.
Yeah.
And for him, he can't do that and then go wash his hands and be fine. It's
just too much.
It's all here for him.
Yeah. Yeah. The hand washing just keeps it from being unbearable. Yeah. I will still sniffles. And I can tell when we go from summer to fall to winter, when all the windows get closed up and then I'm inside with all of the cats, I'll have a period of, a couple of weeks where you're like, what? Oh, right. I'm readjusting to being in here with the cats. Yeah. So I tolerate it, but
I have been very sneezy this week, but I'm kind of sneezy all the time. And I've decided it doesn't. And I decided it doesn't matter.
So
I'm
going
to have a cat in my life.
I like cats enough.
Yeah.
So we were supposed to pull prizes today. I just looked at the time and we're not going to have time to pull prizes. Because we have 2 Knitalongs that are closed.
We could do them
so I will close. The second we start going down that road, somebody will show up and we won't be open. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to close those threads. Jen and I might make a separate video for prizes. Maybe we do it live on Instagram or something. We could do it that way as well, barring what's going on with the store, but it's not going to be part of this Yarncast.
I was thinking we could just do it once the store is open. If there's no one here, we could just do it 5 minutes
separate.
And you shove it in here.
Shove it in there. We could do that as well.
I'm going to be gone, so.
Okay, well,
anyway, or you could just do it.
We'll figure out this prize thing, but we need to stop this part to get the store open.
Takes 3 minutes.
So it might also allow us to get a little more organized. So
let's run through what we've got. We didn't even talk about the Knitalong.
We have the botanical along, which is going right now, which is basically use something that is botanical. Could be the yarn, it could be the motif, it could be the pattern name, whatever it is. If you're not sure or you think it's close, just justify it. We're really loosey-goosey about this stuff. So just spin us a story about how it's botanical and, we probably won't say no. Unless it's just way out there. And then I'll be like, what? No.
We might enjoy the story, but we might say no if it's not.
I can't even remember last time I said no. And then we're announcing... we were talking about a summer tea along, and somebody in the comments suggested that we should do a texture, a textured sort of motif or textured along. So that's what we're going to do. And
textured torso.
We're going to call it the textured torso along.
With a D at the end of texture.
Textured
torso.
Torso along. So you got to make something for your torso, and it's got to have texture on it.
That must be Bella.
Bella with the printer ink. Those are the rules. So it starts now. So it could be a sweater, could be a top, could be a cardigan, could be a shawl. Can you wear it on your torso? That's the rule. If you can wear it on your torso and it has some sort of texture to it, it will qualify.
This is also, just in case you're wondering and you were very focused on the summer tea-along.
Right.
This is an incarnation of that. There won't be a separate one.
No. So use
use
this for your summer. Derecho would apply. That's a summer tee. It's got texture
We
on it.
identified 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 patterns using Remix Light that would be applicable here and that are super cute, both crochet and knit.
And we'll list them down here.
Yeah.
So, but that is not
we're
an
bringing it full
exclusive
circle.
list.
No, you can use whatever
You can use
want.
whatever. And so when should we end this thing? In July? Give people lots of time.
Yes.
So July 1st? July 15th?
After the 4th.
July 15th?
Sure.
July 15th.
We know how rigid our dates are.
Totally rigid.
Meaning that they're not, in case
Not at
in case
all.
you're new here.
Yeah. We're real loose goose with us, and I think people are pulling. Anyway, so
We're fine. Takes 3 minutes.
we're gonna deal with prizes for the Nelkin hood along and the pressed flowers along shortly. But so maybe we'll put those right at the beginning of the outtakes.
Yeah.
We'll put those right at the beginning of the outtakes.
Then we can do our trigger warning.
Because I can put in a slide for the stuff that starts then for 7.5 minutes that we started with in
Although
in
it was very
outtakes.
benign.
It was relatively benign, but I feel like it should have a warning. So thanks for hanging out with us.
Gotta run.
We gotta run. We'll see all of you in 2 or 3 weeks, depending on how we can shake our schedules out.
On
So
our life experiences.
thanks for hanging with us. We'll see everybody soon.
Bye.
All right, we are
Prize
here
drawing.
quickly for some prizes
So exciting.
for both the pressed flowers along and the Nelkin hood along. So we're going to start with our pressed flowers along, which we had a few entries. We had a sweater and some socks and the kerchief, which was also Becky, very pretty, and I liked it a lot. But we random numbered our prize, and we have winner
Lucky number 3.
number 3, which is Misha Knits. Misha Knits from Pasadena, and she knit these amazing
Awesome. Those are so cool.
pressed flowers socks, which I am just in love with.
Yeah.
Now I want to knit myself a pair
There you go.
clearly I need more things to do. So Jen, what is Misha Knits win as a
She is
prize?
going to win this skein of Plymouth Yarn Zeno in this fun springy kind of colorway, green and floral, and I don't know. It's so this is fingering weight, superwash, 25, 75, 25 superwash. These great colors. So,
And we've
and
also
also,
tucked some fun little stitch markers and things in with these prizes.
little keychain and
From Katrinkles that says,
fiber friends are the best friends. And a little eyeglass stitch marker.
eyeglass stitch marker from the Lemonade Shop, which is one of my new favorite places to order things from.
Please watch preceding show again.
Yes, there was some discussion about yarn from the Lemonade
I
Shop.
like the Lemonade Shop too. I
Yeah,
have a
she
bunch
has
of their stuff.
Fun yarn.
She does. So, congratulations. So exciting.
Misha Knits. So, Misha Knits, if you could send me a message on Ravelry with your address, we will get this packaged up and out in the mail to you. So, congratulations. Thank you for participating.
Yay.
We are very excited.
Little stripy socks.
Yeah. All right. And then we also need to pull for our Nelkin hood along. We have, it appears, 2 entries. We have 1 late entry. Nicole, looking at you. But still entry. So Nicole and Becky, because Jen doesn't count. Maybe we should just pull the prize and give it to Jen. No, I'm just kidding.
Nope. Number 1.
Post number 1 is my post.
Oh, I thought you said 1 to 2. Sorry.
Well, we had 2 entries, so
2 to 3.
2 to 4, 2 to 5, and we'll make it interesting because Jen posted in the finished objects thread, so we'll see if she wins.
2.
Post number 2, that's Becky.
Congratulations, Becky.
I'm pretty sure we have your address.
And you have won also. Little fiber friends are the best friends. Some little glasses. But you've won a skein of Mad Hatter from Wonderland Yarns.
Which is really fun.
Tea Time Darjeeling. So it's one of their tea colorways, as in the drink tea. So it's a sport weight, 344 yards, 100% superwash merino. Squishy, squishy.
I am almost positive we have your address. If for some reason it's changed or I can't find it, I'll just shoot you a message.
I believe you're in our files.
I believe so. So
Congratulations.
I think we're all set. But
Super
congratulations,
fun.
we'll get that out to you.
This is a nice sock.
I know, I love their stuff.
Yeah.
So thank you, everybody.
Yeah, for playing.
Join us for the other 2 Knitalongs that we have going right now, the botanical along and the textured torso along, the TT along.
It's like tortured torso, only textured.
TT along. And join all the fun for those. We can't wait. So thank you.
All right, thanks for playing, guys.
See ya. It's on.
Okay, we both have little yolks on today.
I know.
I was just, as I was getting dressed, I was like, it's that weird time of year where yesterday I wore like a wool sweater because I was going to be outdoors for a while.
Yep.
And today I was
Same.
like, need something later.
Yesterday I was wearing completely nondescript everything because I was at a rally. And although Vermont's relatively safe and...
Were you in Shelburne by any chance?
No.
I drove by.
I was in
skirting
Virginia's.
wool instead, but...
Yeah. No, I went to the one in Virginia's, which that area of Vermont has an interesting mix of people, and so I was not fully convinced that there weren't going to be some sort of shenanigans.
Oh, yeah.
So I opted to just be completely devoid of anything that...
Did you have a sign?
I did not make a sign. I did not have time to make a sign.
Yeah. I just love the signs because I just find them.
I think they're funny. I think some of them are funny. Some of them are super clever.
Yes, that's the smartness of them is what I enjoy.
I did not make a sign. I figured
you didn't wear a penguin suit.
No, but that would have been funny.
I saw one in shower.
I'm not surprised. I think I saw that one online after the fact. But I figured if my choice was not have time to make a sign and don't go because I don't have a sign, or go without a sign, I am going without a sign. Yeah. So I went without a sign. It was really cold. It was kind of rainy.
It was, yeah.
And I was there for, I don't know, an hour and a half ish or so. There was a pretty good crowd. And for Jen's, I'd say there's maybe a few hundred people there. It's really
surprised. Yeah,
hard. It's really hard to get. I'm terrible at estimating, and when people are stretched out along the street on both sides of the street, it's even harder to guess. But I'd say 200 to 300 people in Virginia.
Yeah, I have no idea on Shelburne. As I said, I drove through on my way home from Shelburne Farms, but they were from like, the light, the crossways, the in-town light, stretched all the way out up towards the museum, on both sides to probably like the next light.
That far up.
Yeah, 2 blocks, 3 blocks, or whatever, like past where the farmer's market is, but not a whole lot past there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they were like 3 or 4 deep on both sides, and they were pretty tightly
been 300 or 400
there.
people through there.
Yeah.
It's
and they were getting lots of horn honking and waving. And,
I mean, Virginia's was right on 22A, which is like a main thoroughfare on that part of the state. Yeah. We actually had some truck drivers that were giving the old honkity honk through, and people loved that. That was amazing when that was happening. So
Well, and nationwide. I mean,
Yeah.
I went and looked last night when I got home, and I was like, wow, it's
Yeah.
good. 600,000 people across the country.
Oh, no,
around
they're
the world.
estimating
They're much
millions.
higher now. Yeah,
millions.
That makes more sense. I
Yeah.
thought that was like good and low at the same time, but it also was like a few hours after the event, so I'm sure because all the big cities numbers probably weren't.
Well, and West Coast was,
Behind
3
us,
hours
right?
behind us.
Yeah.
They didn't start at 9, they started at noon their time. So
I looked at it. It was like probably mid to late afternoon when I looked at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen millions, over 3 million, I think is what
that makes
the
more
last
sense.
estimate that I saw. So
Yeah. Who knows whether it makes a difference or not, but one would hope. It's good for other people to share the same sentiment.
yes.
That's helpful.
Yeah, my parents went, and that's like the text I got from my mom. She was like, "It's nice to be out with."
That's what I get from being on Threads.
Like-minded people. Was
being on Threads for me is like
response.
That.
So, yeah,
I would have gone if I hadn't already made plans.
I readjusted my schedule to go.
I couldn't. I had to go schedule at a specific time. So
I get it.
Also, I kind of lost. Last week was busy, and I kind of lost track of when it was happening. And then I was like 20 as I drove to Shelburne Farms. I was like, oh, right, I'm going to
if you want to come march with the lawyers are going to march on May 3rd.
Oh,
so
maybe
downtown Burlington.
Okay.
So you're welcome.
Okay. You might have to remind
attend.
me. Yeah.
So regarding the rule of law and the
the
situation
caving of the big lawyers.
I'm so mad about that. I mean, look, it doesn't surprise me.
People have to do what they have to do to keep their businesses going. I understand that, but you can make choices. And you might be on the wrong side by making
perhaps have some personal opinions that I will not share here about big law.
Yeah.
So
we probably all have that about our own industries because it's
So anyway, the Vermont legal community is going to be marching May 3rd.
Good.
So yes.
That's good.
Yep.
Yeah, it was, I had I sort of paid attention earlier in the week, and as I said, I sort of forgot about it. And then as I left the farm and was coming back, I came into town, and I was like, wait, what's going on? And I was like, right.
Right.
And then I was trying to read all the signs without hitting anybody.
Yeah.
I drove through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw a few, not here locally, but on some social media platforms that I cannot share here, but that were super clever and really funny.
Yeah, no, they're hilarious.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As I said, Threads is, I'm very aware that Threads is my own echo chamber. Very aware. Yeah. And but sometimes it's helpful to have that echo chamber around you. Yeah. Even though I think that's part of our problem nationwide. I think that's, a big part of our problem is clearly at the higher levels it's a problem. We're all in our own little bubbles. We've lost the ability to interact with people who have opinions that are maybe different from ours. Yeah. Basically, we've lost the art of compromise. Yes. Listening, understanding. Compromising. Yeah. Nobody gets everything they want. No. But there has to be a happy medium somewhere. That's the goal, always has been, is balance. Yeah. And, so. All right, politics. Let's start there. Right, I know. Sorry, maybe I should put a warning screen up. Trigger warning. Warning. Jen and Ange very gentle discussion about politics. For 7 minutes. I might just flash us something on the screen to just warn people. 7 minutes. If you don't want to, jump ahead. You probably mostly know our politics anyway by now, but if you don't, think so. As I said, we try to listen to everyone. We have our own opinions. We try carefully not to overwhelm people with our opinions, especially in this medium, because there's hopefully lots of people with different opinions that listen to us. Right. And we're here to mostly talk about our craft and things, but we do spend this time at the end talking about things that we've been up to personally. And so that's what I've been up to personally. I've been wool focused. I bet. Yeah. I bet. In fact, my show and tell is 5 bags of wool in the back of the car. Amazing. Amazing. And that's about half of the Shelburne Farms wool, which is kind of a lot.
Yeah.
They have these humongous, it's all packed into like these 2 or 3 humongous bags,
Mhm.
which is a little overwhelming. But I had 2 helpers yesterday. So I went and looked at their wool a week ago in the middle of the snowstorm. And then I went back to, they had skirted like just the really dirty stuff out when they sheared, but they sheared in February. So it's been, but then, and when I went to look at it, it was pretty good. But then I dug in, I was like, oh, burdocks and hay. And so
Yeah.
it needed to be reskirted. So as I said, we got through about half of it. Maggie Payne, who used to work for Tammy, works at Shelburne Farm.
Oh, cool.
She's about to leave, actually, and move out west. But it was nice to meet her in person after seeing her face pop up on social media.
Yeah.
I might have met her once before at the booth or at Tammy's farm. But, anyway, and then there was another woman, Mo, who was helping us too. But,
Cool.
Yeah, it's... and then I went and saw Kelly for a few hours yesterday to talk about dyeing and scanning and like understanding how she does that kind of stuff, like what her resources are. But it was great to catch up with her.
Yeah.
So
I got a chance a couple months ago.
Yeah. Well, we did talk again about we
need to get together.
Find a way to create a place. She said, anyway. It was good to see her. We had a nice chat, and Bob made scones for us, which was even better.
Wow.
It's awesome.
Amazing.
Yes, it was fun. And it was this weekend, for those of you that are local, you know this weekend, the weather's just been miserable. It's like the grayest of gray weekends.
Oh, it's gross. Look, I
don't care. It's fine.
In the Pacific Northwest, and I left the Pacific Northwest because they didn't want to deal with this weather all winter long.
Yeah.
And so when it appears in the fall for a little bit and in the spring here for a little bit, it makes me really cranky. I don't like it.
The only good news for me is that during the actual rainfall yesterday, I was in the breeding barn, which is like one of the most beautiful barns. This humongous, gorgeous barn.
Yeah, it's pretty open air too, right?
Yeah, it's open, and it's just like you could not have a nicer spot to have to skirt some wool.
That's true.
And there's 2 women who were walking around. I saw them as I pulled in, and I thought they were just walkers, but they came in. They were curious about the barn, and it was open because we were in there, and so. And one of them I think is local. They were staying at one of the cabins or cottages on the farm, and so she's definitely a knitter. And so we were talking, and so it was nice to. She knew Must Love Yarn, and she knew somehow that I had bought Bobolink, so she might be a listener. In which case,
hi.
I'm sorry I didn't get your name, but we had a nice chat. I remember what I did last weekend. I got a cat.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
What did I do last weekend? I feel like my week and weekends are just blurs of work and then errands and trying to pull kids stuff together. Like he's so cute. Georgie. So adorable.
He's a cutie, yeah.
I would say we're like in between seasons right now, but we're not.
Yeah.
So
your kids are still in school. There's stuff.
Still school. Well, but baseball started. So we're right in the thick of baseball for my older child, waiting for softball stuff to start for the younger one, but she's already doing gymnastics and she's going to start a running club pretty soon. Like, scouts, we got all the things going on.
It's a lot of stuff.
Crazy. Well, some of that stuff's like gymnastics, like 1 day a week. Running club's like 1 day a week.
No, I know, but it's just a lot of, it means there's something every day.
Right. Well, yeah, that's where we are. Baseball is eat, sleep, baseball, school, rinse, repeat. And we haven't started games yet, so wait till that starts. Which will be the Tuesday following when the Sayers games start. So
hopefully the weather will be slightly nicer. In fairness, it's not terrible. It's just very gray and drizzly this weekend.
Chilly and gross.
Yeah.
Bone chilling.
Yeah. I was actually pretty warm yesterday, all things considered, but I did have a wool sweater and a coat on while I was doing my bit. So my hands didn't get cold, so that's
good.
Yeah. And they feel lovely today because, I got my
lanolin
bath in again.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It is like you drive home with your your fingertips.
Because it kind of sticky.
It's a little sticky. Yeah. It soaks in eventually. Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. What else? What else have I been doing the last 2 weeks? I don't really know. It's like a blur.
Yeah. The work, I've been all over the place again. I was in White Plains this week. Last week I was in Providence. It's just both with an overnight, which is fine. Just it's a lot of drive time. But it was good.
I kind of feel like I've been all over the place for court stuff during the week.
Yeah.
And trying to juggle kids and pickup and it's.
And this week I'm headed to DC on Wednesday, so I'll be there till Saturday night. Come home Saturday night. So, and then my niece is turning 17 on Monday, so we're doing her little birthday thing next weekend. But yeah, 17.
Wow,
so hard to believe.
So I think
getting so grown up.
I was looking ahead to the calendar. In 2 weeks, it's Easter.
Oh, right, yeah.
So we'll probably have to talk offline.
Yeah.
Like do we want to keep that week? Do we want to skip it? It's not a high holiday for us.
I don't know exactly what I'm doing yet, honestly, so
Okay.
we can talk about it offline.
Okay. Okay.
It probably could be fine. The store will be closed that day, but let's talk about it offline.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we may be a delay. We may be back in 2 weeks, or we may get off schedule again.
Yeah.
So.
Or we could just do this and keep the store closed. So it's a possibility.
Yeah.
So.
I think if that is the case, I might ask that. Well, anyway, we can talk about it offline, but I might ask if we can come in a little later.
Yeah, yeah.
But anyway.
Well,
so
yeah.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if not, then we might go to a 3-week cycle. But I have to look because I have some weird stuff coming up on like weekends in the next few weeks.
Yeah, the next few weeks. Well, I'm gone next Saturday, and then the following Saturday, I've got to schlep wool to the mill and do some other stuff. So that whole day is already booked. And
so
then,
maybe we'll look offline. If we're not back in 2 weeks, it's because we could not match our schedules up, or we also just decided we're going to take just a small break again and be back in 3 or 4 weeks, just because we got stuff going on here.
Yeah,
so
it's fine.
It might be more knitting, though. I don't know. I'm like looking at, I knit like 700 hats in the last 2 weeks because apparently that's all I'm knitting right now is bulky hats.
I finished one thing and I was pretty monogamous on another thing, so I made pretty good progress. But
awesome.
Yeah, but I basically have one web and one FO.
There's just it's just kind of chaos over here. I think a little bit. So
that's because I was focused on getting things done.
Yeah, exactly.
You wouldn't know it, but the FO was large. So,
I mean, sometimes
it took all day.
I bet. Yeah. I can see it, and I bet. So, you guys already know what it is because we've already talked about it. So.
Yes, I don't think I posted pre-finishing it, but yeah. Oh, right, and this you mean?
Yeah, because we've already talked. This is at the end, which is weird. It's kind of
right. It's for me to get my head organized, so it's always weird that it's at the end. But
right,
it's fine.
I know. That's what makes it funny at times. So, should we get this?
We should.
Yes, we should. Yeah, okay.